Hello. Let me see if I'm live. Give me 1 second. How's everyone? Yes. Okay. Let me see if I am live. Okay. Looks like I'm live. All right. Welcome back to Ask Jason Anything About Facebook Ads. This is where I go live every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Malaysia time to answer questions about meta advertising. So, in case this is the first time you see me, my name is Jason. I'm from Malaysia. I'm a meta ads optimization strategist. I've been doing this since 2010. So, what I specialize in is I help businesses optimize their meta ads results. Let's say if you're running ads on Facebook and Instagram and you are actually looking to take it to the next level with a proven strategy and method, I would actually recommend that you reach out to me and let's have a conversation and see how we can work together on this. So, what I do here is every Sunday night, I go live for 30 minutes or so, mainly to answer questions about Facebook advertising, Instagram advertising, meta advertising from my audience, mainly on YouTube. So, if you have any questions regarding Facebook advertising, meta advertising, Instagram advertising, what I would recommend you to do first is actually to go to my YouTube channel because I posted over 1,000 videos on the topics about surrounding Facebook advertising, meta advertising. Chances are I probably have answered questions that are kind of like similar to what you have right now. So if you can find an answer, please, watch the video, move on to the next step, do whatever you need to do. Because that's the whole purpose of why I put up all these videos on my channel, isn't it? But if you cannot find an answer, for the problem or to the challenge that you're facing right now, all you need to do is you can actually post your question as a comment on any of my YouTube videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot and I'm going to go live and answer your question live like this on the following Sunday. Okay, so that's how things work. Now, yeah, I'm just going to dive right in. So because this is what we do and I don't want to actually hold you for too long. So it's called Ask Jason Anything About Facebook Ads. We go live every Sunday night. So if you have time, feel free to join me on Sunday night. Okay. Yeah. So I just want to see if there's, okay. Now, so what I'm going to do is, so this is what we do, right? If you have questions, please feel free to post. But if you are live with me right now, or if you're watching the replay at all, if you have any questions, just post it in the chat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up and answer either it's towards the end of the session or in the following Sunday night live. Okay. Now, just in case you have something that you can't wait for it, you want to get an answer right now. You want to actually, it's a very urgent problem that you're having. You can actually scan this QR code, buy me a dinner, then we can have a 30-minute Zoom together. Whether to analyze your campaign, to answer questions, because some questions are maybe PNC. You don't want it to be featured or published like publicly. You want to have a more private conversation, or you have something that you need a solution urgently. Okay, that's what you can do. Scan this QR code, buy me a dinner, then we can actually have a 30-minute Zoom call. You can share a screen, and I would be able to take over your screen and do whatever we need to do together. Okay, now if you are new to meta advertising and you are looking for a guided tutorial or a learning program to learn proper way to set up and strategize and analyze Facebook ads campaign, I would recommend my Facebook ads masterclass. Now, this is a recorded training. It's a 2.5-hour recorded training. Scan this QR code, you will be able to buy it and you'll be able to access the training right away. It covers 5 main things eventually. First, I talk about my framework of running Facebook ads and how do I set up the campaign according to the framework, how do I strategize it, everything with step-by-step walkthrough. So that's the first thing. You need to know the framework. You need to know the strategy. And then as we discuss the step-by-step and everything, we were going to talk about the the objective selection, which is, in my opinion, very important because if you choose the wrong objective, you are technically starting with the wrong direction and your campaign may go down the drain. So that's a very important thing for you to understand which objective is suitable for you and which objective you should avoid at all costs for whatever that you're looking for. So understand the objective, then we follow by the audience targeting. I have a set of like 5 to 6 audience targeting techniques that I've been using for a decade now. So I want to teach you that so that you'll be able to effectively find the people that are more likely to become your customer. Then we talk about, creative and copywriting. Now, I'm not a creative person, as in like I do not help my client in terms of creating the ad or copywriting, but I do have my way of, like what are the best practices. I'll teach you that. And as I work with clients from all around the world on Facebook advertising, I'll be able to share with you the latest trend of things that are working and not working. So probably you can actually avoid making some costly mistakes if you are doing this on your own. Then the fifth part is, in my opinion, one of the most important part, which is the analytics. You see, everybody actually with a Facebook ads account can easily start running ads on Facebook and Instagram. You know that. But what are the metrics that we should be monitoring to determine whether our campaign is effective or not? So that's something that I would actually like to discuss in the last part of it. So I'll teach you what are the metrics that you should be monitoring for a generally foundation for all campaigns, and how do we interpret, say, CTR, CPM, and how do we actually connect these metrics together to make sense, to understand whether our campaign is performing or not. So these are the things that we discuss. So this 2.5-hour training would actually teach everything like this. So yeah, you always get the latest version of it, because from time to time when there are major updates and feature updates and stuff, I'll be doing a re-recording of the whole training, and you will always get the latest version of it. Okay, so scan this QR code and happy learning. Now, just in case you have done probably some learning on your own and you say that, Jason, can we just screw all the training and courses and whatnot? Can you just help me set up the campaign? And, so that I'll be able to just learn by having some, like immediately I see some results coming in. Yes, I do take a handful of clients every month in terms of like designing and setting up your campaign for you, with you. See, although this is very similar to the ad setup by agencies and all that, but my way of doing this is different. Whatever I do is really always focus on the knowledge transfer. So when I do this, I'll be actually guiding you and teaching you and your team, to do everything that I do, so that you will be better at this in the future. You'll be able to do this yourself. So yeah, this is a done with you, for you, with you program. So so you can scan this QR code and find out more. There are more information about the program in there. Just take a look at it. And yeah, if that's something that you are looking for, then we can actually just do this together, because everything will be recorded. This will become your tailored training for your team in the future. So it's a very powerful thing. All the clients that went through this program love it. So scan this QR code, take a look at the whole program detail. If that's what you're looking for, let's schedule a discussion and discuss further. Okay. Now I'm going to go into the questions right now. So for those who are watching the live or or the replay, post your questions over there. I will go through all these and I'll come back to your question after this. Okay. Now the first question is coming from My Digital Blue. So My Digital Blue is asking, you're a beginner. Welcome to the world of Facebook advertising and meta advertising. So you're saying that you just want to know what is considered as frequency. You run a sales campaign. Okay, very good question. Now, first thing first, frequency is actually determined by the duration. So you have to actually look at the top right in the ads manager. There is this duration you can select. So when it comes to frequency monitoring, we always go for a 7-day block. So what is frequency? Say if you switch it to 7-day at the top right, at the date range over there. So frequency is actually the number of times your audience have seen your ads on average. So what does it mean? So let's say, for example, you have a frequency of 2.5. That means all your audience that you have reached in the last 7 days have seen your ads. Averagely, each person have seen it for 2.5 times. That's what it means. So it's actually the difference between impression and reach. So how many people you have reached, how many impression? If you divide impression by reach, then you'll be able to see the frequency. So that's how it was calculated. So why is frequency important? You see, when it comes to Facebook advertising, we usually have a very simple structure of the top of funnel campaign and the retargeting campaign. Now, for top of funnel campaign, it is essential to reach as many people as we can. Make sense? Because that's the whole purpose of running ads. Because in my opinion, when you're running ads, whatever you do, sales or messenger or leads and all that, it's all numbers game. So especially for top of funnel, we want to reach as many people as we can, because that increases our opportunity of getting more results. So that's the key. But when your frequency is getting higher, say if your top of funnel campaign and your frequency is 2.5, that means the campaign is now being locked down to a bunch of people that Facebook believe that they are more likely to take action, which is nothing wrong, because these are the people who are more likely to buy. These are the people who are more likely to become a lead. It makes sense because Facebook know these are the people who are likely to do these actions. But if you have, if they have performed the action, and we do not have a mechanism to push them out, that become a repeating ads on these people. So it actually creates ad budget wastage, because these people may have taken action and you're still showing to them it's a wastage. They may no longer interested in taking action, but you do not, the ad doesn't know, right? They keep showing back to them. It's also a, like ad budget wastage. At the same time, and as you keep repeating to this audience who are no longer interested or taken action, you actually leave a bad impression on them. Like they will have like they'll be like, what the heck is this guy doing, keep showing the same ad to me? So it's essential for us to do a exclusion. So you need to learn how to actually exclude your audience, so that you're able to force your ad, especially on the top of funnel, to reach more people for you, which in turn it might get you more results. Now, on the other hand, for a retargeting campaign, it's essential that we are actually showing our ads as many times. I mean, as in like within the date range that we're looking for. Let's say, for example, for e-commerce campaign, our benchmark is a 7-day. We always start with a 7 days retargeting, and we want to make sure that the frequency is not more than 5, but not lesser than 2 to 3. So it's a very important thing that we have to have a ratio here. So because I know you are interested in my product or services, just you are yet to purchase. And this is the 7 days window that I have to convince you with all the ads or whatever messages that I want to show you, right? So this is how we would actually say that, I want to make sure that I reach you as many times as we can, but not more than 5, because we may not need to go there, but then we have to be at least 3 to 4. So that is where we have to come in and, like maybe play on the budget to see whether we are able to push the frequency. But when you have a 10, for example, for retargeting, then you are probably wasting. So it's important for you to reduce the budget on that. So understanding the frequency, and especially, how does it imply or affect the performance of your top of funnel and retargeting campaign is a very important thing. So I hope that answers your questions. But having said that, I always like to emphasize that frequency is not the only metric that we measure. There are a lot of metrics. You can actually go to my other YouTube videos to find out all the other metrics that you need to track. But it's important to understand the connection between metrics. Say we have CTR, sets of them, the CPM and the frequency. Because when I don't want you to get too obsessed on one single metric, because a lot of people are, like I always have these, like a bunch of people comes back and ask me, how do I reduce CPM? How do I reduce CPM? Look, CPM is important to be reduced, but if it's reduced and yet you reach the wrong people, it doesn't make sense as well, right? So you need to actually kind of like learn how to connect the metrics to make sound decision on your campaign. So that's really something that I always recommend you to learn. So if you are running ads on Facebook and you want to master this part of the art, I will recommend that you start with this. So this is the Meta Ads Review gig on Fiverr. So scan this QR code, buy me a dinner. What we're going to do is we're going to do a few things together. First, I'm going to build a dashboard for you, as in like for your campaign specifically, what are the metrics that we should be looking into? All right. So we have, let's say, CTR, CPM, and I would actually arrange them in sequence so that you'll be able to see the whole thing in a very objective and sequential way. So, and then we will have a journey in place as well. Say, for example, if you are doing sales campaign, we will start from the click, landing page view, add to cart, and until purchase. And we will actually kind of build the whole thing out so that we are able to see which part are we actually kind of like falling off the cliff right now. Say if you have a 1,000, like landing page view and you only have like 10 adding to cart, then we know that this part is actually broken. Is there anything that we can do? That's how we do optimization, in fact. So first we build a dashboard, okay? And I'm going to build it for you in your Ads Manager search so that you can always come back to that. And followed by the analytics. That's where I will come in and analyze your campaign for you. I will be kind of like connecting with for you, like, for example, what is CTR? What are we actually looking at, when we are analyzing the CTR and the CPM? So when the CPM and CTR goes that way, what are the decisions that we will be making? And yeah, I'll teach you how to analyze. That's the whole purpose. And as we analyze, we build a plan. So I'll be looking at like, okay, now, so this is something that you have to do. Step 1, step 2, step 3. So I'm actually going to give you a plan for at least the next few weeks down the road so that you can actually perform optimization techniques yourself. So yeah, so that's the whole learning purpose. Then immediately you will know what are the metrics that are important to your campaign and what are the things that you should be doing in the following weeks to hopefully take it to the next level. So that's what I do a lot with, like advertisers from all around the world. So if you're running ads and you're serious, really like, on taking, like leveling up on this part, scan this QR code, buy me a dinner, and I look forward to work with you soon. Okay, now that's the first question. Thank you for the question. Now the next one is coming from Jack Kell. So this is a video about creating the privacy policy link. Okay, so yeah, I mean when you're running ads on Facebook, especially if you do lead gen ads, if you run lead generation ads, it's important that you actually have a privacy policy. And if you have a website, the easiest way is to just paste your website URL there. But for those who do not have a website, well, you can actually watch this video to find out more about how can you actually create a link for you for free. So what I do is actually to do Google Docs, and you just publish it for a public view, and you'll be able to use it. I even have a sample over there, so you can actually just copy and paste in your Google Doc and make it yours, right? So the question here from Jekyll is, after you paste the link on Facebook, should we save it somewhere, or the link in Facebook always go to the same link? Yeah, you don't really need to save it somewhere, actually. Just make sure that the link is published for public view, as in everybody with the link will be able to access the data or the information. Then it's good. Just go for that. That's fine. Okay, all the best. Yeah. Okay, now, so that's that. And I have a big question that I want to answer, because I always get this question a lot. And like, how do we optimize Facebook ads? As in, like, when we are running ads on Facebook, we're already seeing some tractions. We're already seeing some like results coming in. The first thing we always want to do is actually to increase the budget, because that's what is in a lot of people's mind. Increasing the budget is the only way to get better result. In my opinion, I beg to differ. That's why I really want to give you the idea of Meta ads optimization, Facebook ads optimization over here. So what does it mean by optimization? Is to actually optimize whatever that are not performing at its optimum level. Say, for example, the first thing we always look into when we're optimizing a campaign is actually to analyze the data. We will need to find out, the first step is to find out what's working and what's not working. Okay, so let's say if you have a campaign that's already performing and you're seeing some good results coming in, before you scale, first analyze. Now, say for example, there are a lot of metrics that we'll be analyzing, right? So this is what we do together if we want to do that. But let's say we pull out and we realize that, look, the CTR link click is at 0.5%. Yet you have a ROAS of 2.5x. That's pretty decent. But just imagine, 0.5 is actually at the lower side, mid to lower tier side of our benchmark of 1%. So if you have a 0.5, there is a good chance that your ad may not be that performing well. So what I would actually recommend, I mean, of course, there are other metrics involved. Then maybe we can start with like testing new creative, or find out which placement works better. Let's say if it's stories and reels that are working better, then we probably can actually do some optimization and run some ads only on reels and story to see whether we are able to bump the CTR. So let's say if you're able to, just imagine 0.5% CTR. If I'm able to bump your CTR to 0.75%, what does that mean? That means I get 50%, 50%, because 20.25 is 50% of 0.5, right? I get 50% more clicks with the same budget that you are spending. Do you think you might potentially get 50% more landing page view, add to cart, or even purchase? Assuming everything, all metrics or all like factors remain unchanged, it is totally possible. So that's the reason why you need to find out what's working and what's not working. Let's say, for example, the CTR is perfect, but then we realize that there's a big jump. Say you have 1,000 landing page view, but you only get 10 add to cart. That's just 1%. I mean, our benchmark is 20%. So if I'm able to bump this, let's say if I fix the landing page and do something different, and I'm able to bump this to, let's say, 10%, do you think you are potentially able to get, like 90% more add to cart and all these things? Because this is all the number game. But what a lot of people do when they are trying to, scaling an ad is they do not know. I mean, they don't bother the concept of, like optimizing. That's why often than not, every time you try to scale a campaign that is performing, so-called, it breaks. Because you'd have no benchmark. When it breaks, that's the thing. We always want to come back. What is breaking? You see the key? Yeah, when a campaign is not performing, we also need to know why it's not performing, because that's how we learn and make sure we don't make the same mistake in the future. So that's the first thing. Find out what's working and what's not working. in your campaign. That's the first step of optimization by analyzing it. Now, the second step is, okay, once you have analyzed the campaign, you come up with a list of actions. When we are optimizing campaign, we start with building hypothesis. Meaning what? So if the CTR is low, then the first hypothesis we will say that test new creative, optimize the placement, for example, stories or reels, fix the landing, for example. And we have a series of things. This is where we build a plan. Okay? And when we build a plan, we test one variable at a time. I'm not saying that you have to, like you cannot test multiple things, yes, but one ad set, let's say this ad set, we are testing new creative. That's it. Then once we test new creative, we will let it run for a week. We try to run for a week because a week data is the most objective data because you have some good days, bad days and all, right? So we go for a week and we would actually prove this hypothesis, whether it's right or wrong. Then we move on to the next step. It's always important we try not to test too many things in one because eventually we do not know what's working and what's not working. So we build a plan, we test one thing at a time. Optimization takes patience and takes, like proven tactics one step at a time to achieve optimization. But everybody can learn this. Everybody should learn this. So optimization is important for everybody who run ads on Facebook and Instagram and Meta to really master. So the first step is to find out what's working and what's not, build hypothesis and build a plan, test one thing at a time. I hope that gives you an idea about Meta Ads optimization right now. And you have to actually do it with a plan, step by step. Do not rush into things. That's how I help my clients to achieve better campaign results over the course of weeks. We don't need to wait until months. In fact, in a couple of weeks, immediately we actually hit some hypothesis. We are able to already start seeing some improvement from there. But that's something that you have to really kind of like follow the sequence and do. Okay, so if you're running ads on Facebook and you are trying to take your campaign performance to the next level, and you want to do it with someone who have done it with thousands of Meta advertisers from all around the world, I invite you to scan this QR code and we start from a first review first. So what I'm going to do with you here in the Meta Ads review that I do with a lot of my clients around the world here is, first I'll build you like a dashboard. So I'll go into your ads manager. I'll build you all the metrics that you need to know. Start from CTR, CPM, add to cart, blah, 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 blah. So that's the dashboard. It's unique to your business. And then after that, I'm going to analyze for you. As I do, I'll teach you. All right. So what's the meaning of CTR, CPM? How do we connect CPM and CTR together to make sense of certain, like hypotheses? How do we build hypotheses? That's where I would actually build the plan for you. So, yep, in half an hour, we'll be able to have a dashboard ready, teach you how to analyze the dashboard, and have a plan that you can actually execute on your own in the next couple of weeks, hopefully to improve your campaign performance. So if that's what you do, if you're running ads, I urge you to do that. Scan this QR code, buy me a dinner, and I look forward to work with you soon. Thank you so much. Now, that's the question that I get, and I want to quickly come back to, hang on. I want to quickly come back to the comment over here. I believe we have some questions over here. Okay, one way is saying that you want to ask, and you did not ask. Anyway, I hope you asked your question. So that's how it works, right? One way, just post your questions over here, but you did not, and we're coming to an end. And then maybe just post on any videos, and I'll be able to capture that, and I'll answer that next week. Okay, then we have Roy. What's up, Roy? Thanks for joining me. And we have Zainora. Hi, thank you for joining me. I think that's all we have over here. So, yep, so that's 30 minutes. Thank you so much for joining. And if you have any questions, please make sure you post it in the, as a comment on any of my YouTube videos. Otherwise, join me next week. I do this every Sunday night, and just ask your questions live so that we can actually have some meaningful discussion. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Good night. Bye now.